Welcome to the channel, I'm Lee Burke, and in this video we're going to have a look at how I edit my YouTube videos. Now I'm an Adobe Premiere Pro user, so if that's the program you use, or even if you don't use it, this will be a great tutorial showing you how I made a short 2-minute film clip for my YouTube channel trailer. If you're a new YouTuber and looking to grow your channel, click the subscribe button. I've got heaps of great content and a lot more great content coming up showing you how to grow your channel fast. So let's jump straight into the video. Alright, so here I am in Adobe Premiere. I've got my project already loaded up and I'm just going to step you through what I actually did and how I kind of build out a project. So we're not starting from scratch. This is the actual finished project, but I'll be able to step you through all the elements, the way I kind of piece things together, my thought process behind what I do and how I do it. And then hopefully there's some great tips that you can take away for yourself and apply to your own videos. Okay, so if you haven't used Adobe Premiere before, I'll just walk you through a few of the elements, kind of how I have my screen set up here when I'm editing. So across the top here you have the different screens that you can click through. So I essentially just stay on this editing screen to do all my editing. And I've got all the panels here that I need, and I can jump through to different panels as I need them as well. So you've got obviously your main preview panel here. So I basically have that set to fit, and that allows me to press play and scroll through and preview the editing that I've done. Probably started. Okay, another way to do that is just you've got your timeline down here. You can actually scrub through the entire video, and then at any point you want, you can release and just press spacebar on your learn to edit, and you even film the start playing and press spacebar again to pause it. Also on your timeline you can see here we've got all our video tracks. Okay, so video 1, the main track, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've even got a couple of tracks there that I am not using at the moment in this particular clip. And then below that you can see A1, A2, A3, A4. They're all our audio tracks. Depending on the actual clip, some video tracks have associated and linked audio tracks. You can unlink them if you need to. I'll walk through that later. But then some audio tracks, for example, the music background just has its own track. So just keep that in mind. So here where you can see video 1 and audio 1, this is the video track here, this is the audio track. The lines that you see here are all the cuts that I've made in this particular clip. So I've removed sections that, for example, might be a long pause or something where I made a mistake or something where I said too many times, and that's why we end up with that. Then you can see that the audio track matches the same cuts because they're both synced. Okay, they're linked and they're synced. That's the main video track that goes up to about here. I'll just show you. And then after that, it cuts into my actual outro. So I've got an outro that I use on every video, and you can see this gray section here ends here. It's kind of a darker black and a lighter black there, and then the gray just ends there. That means that I have marked this video in and out. So when I export this video, it's going to export basically what's in that gray section. So from the start all the way up to there. What I do is I reuse my edits. So the components and everything that I have in one video, I'll save that. And then when I create my next video, it's basically a template. So I can remove the video, audio tracks, any other effects that I don't need, then drop in my new tracks, and it just makes my edit a lot quicker and a lot more streamlined. Where we have this other component over here, that's just something that I've had or keep there just in case I need it for another video. Also, you can see down here on some tracks, see how they're muted. So this is an audio track, but I've actually muted it. So these are all the effects that I'm not actually using at all in this video. This track similarly is muted. So I've got some effects there that I'm not using in this video. I kind of want to reserve the right to use them if I feel that I'm still in the editing process or one effect wasn't quite right when I preview it. So I've got the ones there that I need or that I know that I like. I've dragged and dropped a lot of other effects, music and clips into here, into my media browser, but just having it here makes it a lot easier to distinguish the ones that I know I use a lot. So I leave them in there and I just mute them, and same with down here. I was trying out a whole heap of different audio tracks here. Just to illustrate that, what I can do is I can mute that track, I can mute the main two tracks. Okay, I can unmute that one, and you can see here I was experimenting with some different soundtracks to use when my growth animation came in at the start. So that was one. This was another one. These are what we call stingers, so you can put them at when you're doing a logo reveal or at the start of a podcast or something like that. So I will mute that track again, unmute my audio, unmute my effects, and unmute my audio that's associated to my video. So just to recap, so I've got my main video track here with my outro. I've got my audio for my main video track here as well, the audio for the outro. Up here, see how there's a video and we've got an audio here. So if I just jump there, that's my subscription box that pops up. That's another animation that I have that I reuse on all my videos, and I can move that around to wherever I want. So in this particular video, that's where I'm actually talking at the end of the video about getting people to subscribe and like and leave a comment. So that's where I position it in that video. By the way, it's has a transparent background, so once I'm in there, I can actually select that, double click it, I can move it around to wherever I need it. I can click to resize, and that's kind of how your overlay animations and graphics work. This blue track here, as I said before, is my main video track. So that is actually me talking into the microphone. So that's the talking head track. And this video track here, the purple section that you see, is the stock video footage that I've overlaid on my audio track of me talking. So when it's overlaid, you don't actually see me doing the talking head anymore, but it's there in the background. So because this video track is above that one, it basically means that it's the track that shows up. Okay, so if I were to turn that track off, the video one, this track here, then you can see this whole video is just of me talking in a microphone. So it's all just a talking head, and then we overlay these tracks here. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's just the basics of how everything hangs together here. These are the effects here, this effects track along here, and these effects happen when certain things happen in this video track 3 up here. Okay, so this track here really could be down below, but I'll put it up there just because I didn't know when this comment panel was going to come in. I didn't want it to overlap. So I mean, you got the space, so just use it as you see fit. Also back here we have this growth animation coming in, so I put that right at the start, and I can overlay it on whatever video clip I've got there. Now here where you see 2 video clips, I literally just had a choice of 2. Originally I had this one, but if I turn off this track, okay, I had an animation in there. It didn't really kind of fit the video because it was all kind of realistic video of people. Then it jumped to this animation, so I wasn't happy with that, so I wasn't sure, so I kept it in there, but I just overlaid it with this one, and that ended up being the track that I went with for the final video. That's how we all hang together. So now I just want to explain this down here. So you can scroll with this little scroll bar here, but what you can also do is expand. Okay, so if I move that in, so just click on it, move it to the left to make it smaller. So as this goes smaller, this goes bigger. So we're basically just expanding it out like that. And what I like to do is when I'm doing my first edit, I'm doing my edit based on the video, this video and audio track. I'm doing that first before I add any of this other stuff, okay? And I'm doing it based on this waveform here in the audio. So I need to get this big enough as to where I can see where there's a gap or where I need to make an edit. Obviously I'm listening to it as well as we move our way through. So that's the first, so that's just the intro. There's no audio. That sits before the actual main video and audio track here. And then when we jump in, I'm actually making edits in here. Okay, I will be publishing another video where I go through and kind of create a video from scratch within Adobe Premiere. In that video, I will show you exactly how I kind of cut the audio and all the controls and how all that works. This video is more of an overview. If you have those basic skills and you kind of know how to edit in Premiere, this gives you the strategy and the framework as to how to pull it all together, okay? So I do that, I get through and I cut all those. And then I go to my stock video websites to find the footage that matches what I'm talking about. So
How to do YouTube channel just like me.
okay, so I'm talking about how to start a YouTube channel. So I wanted to find a stock video of somebody kind of working on their laptop, you know, out there living the laptop lifestyle. So that's the type of thing I look for.
You watched all the great.
Then I wanted a close-up of somebody's face, because this could have either been the clip that I used or somebody staring at a computer screen. That wasn't really going to work for me because it talks about having watched all the great YouTube clips. So I would have to actually find a clip of somebody watching YouTube, and that's kind of hard to find. So I went with that option. And then I work my way through and add clips and clips. Now I just also want to explain in here the effects. Okay, so because we have this effects track here, so I'll just expand this out a bit so you can see the effects track again. So here we have these different effects. So let's just have a look at this one. This one here, if you listen, is actually, if I mute my audio track and I mute my music track and just listen for the actual sound effect here. Okay, so that's just someone typing. So it just adds that extra bit of dimension and sound design to your video to add an effects track. So, and it has to obviously be relevant to whatever's happening on the screen. There's not always a good effect for the clip that you have. And obviously you've got the audio anyway, and you've got the voiceover. So it's just adding that third dimension. You don't need it on every clip. Just to give you another couple of examples. So this one here, that was just a camera taking a photo. And again, that is the background noise of a cafe on that clip. That's somebody jumping and landing on the floor, that effect there. Obviously to match the boy jumping now, just show you that one again. This next one, just play that again. So that's a horn from one of the ships in the background as the camera pans around here. The next one is this woman standing outside. It looks kind of breezy, so I just wanted kind of a wind, outside wind type of effect. So you can hear that. Now here I really wanted to highlight, because in the audio track I'm talking about the naysayers laughing at you because you're too late to YouTube. So in that instance I kind of wanted a laughing effect in the background. So that's that one there. This one here. Now I just wanted to sound like you could hear the footsteps of the person that was kind of taking the video footage of the other person sitting there. So I've got some kind of autumn leaves rustling as they move around. Now another thing I kind of want to emphasize here. So now see, most of my cuts are just straight cuts. It just cuts directly from one clip to the other. You can see here, there's no transition. But then this one, we kind of get to the end of a bit of, there's a natural break in the script of what I'm talking about. So this one, I do like a fade to black. So I'll show you the difference. Let's turn on our audio and our music again, and just have a listen and watch how it cuts from each of these video clips. But then when it gets to that natural break, we have a fade to black.
Saturated. The algorithm only favors larger channels. There's no chance for a small YouTuber starting out anymore. You heeded their advice and crept back into your shell. You still dreamed of making videos.
So it's a kind of a change in the thought pattern and starting to talk about heeding their advice. So I do that fade to black. It's almost like the end of a mini chapter. And I do it another couple of times. There's another one over here. So let's keep watching. You'll see another fade to black over here, and just listen to the dialogue as well.
But you were scared to put in all the effort for it to amount to nothing. You went back to browsing YouTube, watching all the other stars and wondering when your time would come. But what if the naysayers were wrong?
So again, wondering when your time will come, but what if the naysayers were wrong? So it's another thought pattern going in a different direction. So I do like a fade to black there as well. You can add those transitions quite easily. I will go through all of that in my next video about editing in Adobe Premiere. This one is more your strategic overview of how you pull everything together. So with all of your clips, either your clips that you're downloading from your stock footage side, or your effects, or even your main video and audio track that you film yourself on the camera and then you import, you can literally just drag and drop them on this panel over here, or you can even just drag and drop them onto the timeline, and they'll be linked to this project, and then you can start editing them. So it doesn't edit the original source file, it basically just does the edit within Premiere itself, but it always needs to know where that file is that you've linked to. Always keep them in one place on your C drive or on whichever drive you're using to store those, and always have that available when you go to edit that particular clip again. Okay, so I hope this has been useful. As I said, I'll cover a lot more about all the tools and how you do the actual editing in the next video in the series. If you found this video useful, please leave a like and subscribe for more similar content about growing your YouTube channel. If you have any questions, please comment in the comments below. I answer all the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.